so much. Or Rekkles.
With that Karma
Rekkles
pick.
plays the Karma. I wonder if he plays the Pike too.
I do just want to say, Rekkles' performance on the Karma yesterday must have been quite heartening for most Fnatic fans, because last time he played as support, he had to bench himself immediately afterwards. He's back on the pitch today, so we'll see him play in this matchup. There's the Yuumi first lock for Fnatic. No real surprises there.
Yeah, I mean, they banned so many supports, but they left out probably the most OP one of them all. The Yuumi, even after the nerfs we've seen, can be incredibly oppressive when put ahead. I like to see this from Excel. They go ahead and pick up the Sivir, which is arguably the strongest pairing with that Yuumi, and also the Jarvan to deny that Cataclysm, which really gives Sivir a tough time.
Definitely does. We'll see what Fnatic want to round out their bottom lane with. Expect to see an AD carry or bot lane pick here, maybe alongside the jungler. Don't want to have that pool pinched too much, but with the Aatrox still on the cards, Fnatic have a lot of options.
Yeah, they may just go Aatrox plus Aurelia and get the double solo lane terrors at the moment. The other option is go for a marksman, you know. That could be a little bit more boring, but personally, I would love to see them just enable Bwipo. He loves the Aatrox. I expect that champion will be going towards him, and something like the Aurelia to allow Nemesis to pop up in the mid lane would be very cool.
And as much as he does love the Aatrox, we've yet to see Bwipo play it this split. He's been banned out against them a lot of games, obviously. The Corki is going to be the lock for Nemesis in the mid lane instead. A little bit more safety there.
It's very interesting to see the blind Corki, actually. Typically, you don't necessarily expect to see that. That being said, as a ranged marksman, he's always going to be scaling quite well towards the mid and late game, and in tougher matchups against AP threats, can go for the Hex Drinker himself. So it looks like Excel going to be drafting a very strong 2 versus 2. One light binding lands, you're going to take a whole lot of damage from the Lux, as well as the Boomerang Blade coming through from the Sivir.
Be very difficult. And of course, you have the shield, the Prismatic Barrier coming out from Lux for the Yuumi Q alongside the Spell Shield from Expect to try and dodge out some of that damage in the bottom lane. I want to talk a little bit more about that Corki and what we might see Fnatic ban on this second phase, because you said it's odd to see a blind Corki, but now they have a couple of bans to try and alleviate that issue.
Yeah, you're either going for 2 quick bans on Excel's side towards the jungle or bot lane position. Now, Fnatic, maybe they want to remove... I actually don't think you have to ban anything in the mid lane necessarily. The Aurelia could be a good option for them. We see that be very high priority here in this league. The Akali, too, we've seen be very dominant so far today, and I know can do well up against that Aatrox, but it seems like they just want to protect the top lane for Bwipo.
Does make a lot of sense. Remove the cannon, at least taken away from Broxah's hands. He has been so instrumental in Fnatic's early games across the course of this split, and taking an aggressive jungler away from him makes a lot of sense from Excel's side. I'm going to lay the groundwork for a thought I have had. Corki early on, is there any chance at all this goes down towards the bottom lane instead of being played mid? We have seen it in the past. I know it's not meta these days.
Honestly, the first thing I thought of when Fnatic locked it so early was, this has got to be a flex pick. There's got to be some bigger reason why you are taking this so early on in the draft. I still expect to see it go towards Nemesis, but I know a couple players around Challenger and maybe some pros as well have been going for the Corki from time to time in solo queue. But still the expectation to be mid.
Well, there is the Aurelia ban that you talked about, and a good prediction on that one. Now we'll see what XL want to pick blind into Fnatic. Of course, they could just pick their top laner because Bwipo is already playing that Aatrox we expect up towards the top lane.
Could always just go for some safe mage towards the mid. They're going to keep things ambiguous, though. The Akali did slip through, so going to be trying to make that follow the Aatrox in that matchup. Can do very well because of the mobility. You can dodge away from the sweet spots on those Aatrox Qs to avoid a lot of the damage and then close the gap as soon as it's on cooldown.
It does make a lot of sense. Fnatic trying to round out their comp with what we expect to be marksman Ezreal here in the bottom lane, and then you're looking at a jungler for Broxah. Hylissang, signature pick. He has a whole video dedicated onto how to play this champion, and now we'll see it firsthand.
Before I came to the studio today, I was sitting at home, I open up my monitor, and what is that? It's Broxah's stream. I'm watching a stream, he's playing the Hylissang like 3 different games in a row. Absolutely loves that champion and can pop off on that pick, especially when you see immobile carries like the Lux, like the Sivir. There's a lot of room, especially post level 6, to get behind them, go for the insects, and really make their day not too fun.
Ooh, Poppy, the final pick here for Expect in the top lane. So we think it's going to be Akali mid,
right.
Poppy top. The question is whether we'll see Excel following that Aatrox around. Will Mickey take the Akali up towards the top lane, or is he going to be playing into Nemesis in mid?
I think it's mid lane, not with the Poppy. Poppy definitely going to be going towards the top side. Mickey just going to be looking to weather the storm in the early laning phase against the range. Corki's not too, he doesn't have the highest range out of these, marksmen in the mid lane, so it's not going to be the worst thing in the world for Mickey, but then at level 6, maybe look to see him roam around the map or unlock some kill threat with that ultimate.
It definitely will. Let's talk a little bit about how these compositions are going to play out, though. Excel have a little bit of pick with the Lux, with the Akali. The Jarvan lockdown is there, but you've got such strong teamfight presence with the Sivir and with the Poppy as well. Fnatic, on the other hand, strong early game, very strong AD carry support duo in the form of the Ezreal and Yuumi.
Yeah, I think Fnatic rely a little bit more on snowballing through, getting towards that 2-item spike for this composition. They don't have the best front-to-back team fight, lacking a little bit in CC, so eyes are on Broxah to see if he can make plays and unlock his team, which he's been so good at so far this split.
The fans are out in force once again. Fnatic undefeated so far this split, 6-0. They'll want to make it a lucky number 7 coming into Rift Rivals. They look like the strongest team in Europe at the moment, you have to say. And Excel, still yet to get a win, are standing in their way. Once again, we get onto the Summoner's Rift and Fnatic, their signature level 1, standing next to this Tribush, looking to see if any of the XL players will step too far forward. And XL have just set up their own battle lines. They're saying, okay, we don't need to step onto the other side of the map. We want to defend. We want to get our job in those first couple of buffs, and then look to see if Caedrel can have an impact early on.
I would be very surprised if Excel just piled 5 members in towards that tri-brush, but the ward will spot a potential cheese strat. You see a lot of the time when you have ranged champions like the Lux and the Sivir, if they just camp in that brush to catch Rekkles and Hylissang off that rotation.
Looks like Nemesis is actually heading up towards the top lane. We saw Fnatic do this last Bwipo going into mid on the Shen against Origin. Now it's Bwipo going into mid into the Akali matchup. A matchup we don't always expect to be in favor of the Aatrox.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see this. Ultimately, there is a lot of skill involved in this matchup on the Akali side in particular, to make sure you're dodging away from a lot of those skill shots. I wonder if it means Broxah wants to put some attention towards the mid lane early on, with the Aatrox bringing some CC in his kit. Might be more feasible to gank an Akali than it would be perhaps this Poppy on the top side.
It does make a lot of sense. Poppy's so tanky early on, very difficult to jump on her as well with the steadfast presence. XL knew what they were doing when they picked that Poppy, good into the Yuumi and the Ezreal as well.
Yeah, looking at the rune choices too, for Nemesis in particular, going to be picking up the Kleptomancy himself, not something you see all the time, but knowing he was going to be against a melee champion regardless. The Poppy in this case, he's going to be able to get free gold and get closer towards that Trinity Force. We talk a lot about Trinity Force spike on the Corki. I don't think it's actually as big as, say, someone like the Ezreal, perhaps. But once Corki gets that Triforce plus an Infinity Edge, works on a Rapid Fire Cannon too, he is going to absolutely shred some of these targets on Excel's side.
Level 2 hit first here for the XL bot lane. Of course, new this week, although you would have seen them play in the spring split. Jessica and Mesix didn't have the best of performances yesterday. We'll be trying to prove that they belong in the LEC today. And what a matchup to try and do it into. Yuumi, one of these power picks we've seen so often, and Rekkles, the most powerful AD carry in our league. Most kills of any player ever in European League of Legends.
Yeah, it's definitely a bold move here, but they have a very strong pushing bottom lane. With that Lux, with her E, she can tag all the minions with her passive, and she gets a fair amount of attack speed at level 1-2 with some buffs that came in like over a year ago to make it so she can quickly get her passive procced and push out these waves in tandem with AoE from a Sivir.
Okay, so early on our question was, where would Broxah be going? He is looking towards mid. He went blue into red into red into blue into full topside clear. He's now stealing away the Razor Beaks, but has been spotted. Caedrel trying to answer with something of his own mode. Meanwhile, the fight starts in the bottom lane. Rekkles is ignited here, ticking away, but Hylissang still has the heal if needed. Rekkles gets underneath the tower, and Hylissang gets back as well.
Good precaution there from Excel, not going too far forward. You know, they get Rekkles very low. A lot of people flash forward to try and get that kill, but knowing the heal was still there from Hylissang. And top lane, Expect going in on Nemesis.
Expect's putting a lot of damage down onto Nemesis, and there's no escape from this. He flashes, but the hammer comes down. Broxah lands a kick in the mid lane, but Mickey's underneath his tower. And meanwhile, let's go down towards bot because Caedrel is on the chase.
Here comes the dive teleport too from Expect. They're going for it all.
Rekkles still has the flash. Hylissang burnt both of his summoners, but the counter teleport coming out from Fnatic now, and Bwipo is here for the fight. Caedrel ignited, Jessica pushing them back, and Bwipo won't get anything out of this.
Yeah, the rest of Excel are going to be able to back a way out of here, no problem. Nemesis using his teleport back into the top lane as well after that failed 1v1. But at the end of the day, it's Excel massively on top here. Expect with clutch individual mechanical play in that 1 versus 1. And then bottom lane, they were able to deny quite a few minions there from Rekkles.
That they were. We do just have a pause coming out, so we'll find out what's going on exactly with that. But while we are in the pause, if you want to open up a separate tab on your browser, you can check out Training Grounds with Broxah, where he plays his signature Lee Sin. It's available on our YouTube page at lolesports. Have a watch of it. He taught me some new mechanics. I'll be honest, I'm never going to be able to use them because I'm not mechanically good enough. But people who are better than me at League of Legends...
Like me.
You, I
play a mean Lee Sin, man.
You do play a mean Lee Sin. So you're just not used to compliments. I was expecting you to...
No, I was expecting you to keep laying them on me.
Oh, okay.
Because it doesn't end there. I got a mean Rek'Sai, you know, I got it all.
Yeah.
I'm the full package.
If all means 2 champions, you're definitely the full package. Let's get back to the game, though. XL 1 kill up early on. They actually played this top lane fight very well. You can say Expect Nemesis just not expecting this.
I wonder how this... Oh, Nemesis tanks 2 tower shots.
Yeah,
okay, that's a mistake. First of all, then Expect uses the minion to get the E dash, and then watch this W. The second Nemesis starts the Valkyrie, boop, you're not going anywhere, and then it's a Q flash. The animation is effectively canceled there by Expect, and he extends the range of that spell by using the flash. Very nicely done by him.
It's the 2-time MVP coming up pretty big for his team once again. But the question I think has to become now, you know, the game has been slowed down. In fact, Broxah's early pressure hasn't really amounted to much because XL have kept him on vision. How do they then take this into the next portion of the game? They put good pressure down bot. Rekkles hasn't actually had to burn his flash, but they've got both the summoners out of Hylissang. What are the next steps for XL to actually take this lead and run with it?
I think the most obvious place to look is the top lane. We see Nemesis continuing to push in on this Corki. Now that he's missing his flash, there's a lot of room for it. Jarvan just come up top lane. You know, he has his flash too, so it's a very easy EQ into flash, knock up, you stop that Corki in his tracks. And unless Broxah is there to guard him, that shouldn't be too difficult of a gank to pull off.
Just so everyone knows, Jessica did just have to adjust his sound settings. We'll be getting into the game very shortly. I see him reconnecting on our screen, so hopefully won't be too much longer before we jump back on into the action. It's a little bit of a slow start for Fnatic, but I don't think you're too worried, right? We're 4 minutes in. It's not really too far behind at all, but early doors is looking good.
I mean, so we sort of set up this idea of when Fnatic went for the lane swap, it was to put Bwipo in mid lane so that Broxah could find an early gank. They were trying to find an early kill on towards Mickey, and this is the same thing they did a little while ago against Origin, I believe, where they swapped the Shen into the mid lane. They wanted CC to find an early gank. Unfortunately for them, there was a very nice ward placed by Excel on the Raptor camp, on their own Raptor camp rather, to spot Broxah going for the counter jungle and then that eventual gank path towards the mid lane. So Broxah wasn't able to get much, and he's really the force that drives action in these Fnatic early games. He's the guy that snowballs and starts that ball rolling for the team.
Well, speaking of action, I believe we're back to Summoner's Rift once again. Nemesis pushing in the top lane. Expect actually already burnt his teleport here, and XL are going to take Mickey up towards top to try and hold that wave for the moment. Rekkles came back into the lane here with the teleport. Hylissang followed him, of course. That's how Yuumi works, and Mystiques is going to run away. Jessica backing in the bush, Mystique's just being as much of a nuisance as possible to allow his AD carry to retreat.
And you ask, why is this swap coming through from Excel? I think a big part of it is that with the first blood, Expect went back, spent 1,100 gold on the Ninja Tabi. So he wants to be versus Bwipo, who's going to be dealing full physical damage here on the Aatrox. Expect also went for the Conquer in his rune choice as well. So it's going to be much better in these extended trades, whereas we usually see Poppies go for the Grasp of the Undying for that laning sustain. Expect wants to have a little bit more oomph in longer fights and potential side lane trades later on.
A little bit worried for Jesco as he teleported down in towards this bottom lane because his support is not with him. Mystique's just backed away, so it's quite easy to force Jesco away from the CS down in that bottom side, but for the moment he seems to be doing okay sitting around it, actually trading well against Hylissang and Rekkles. Mickey caught out by Broxah, but he's able to get away.
Nicely played there from Mickey, walking down, and they're swapping again. XL see the Aatrox up top lane, Expect walks through the jungle, even knowing Broxah was there walking out, he sees his path.
But the thing with swaps like this is the team that's taking them first, the team that makes the swap, tends to get more XP out of it because you're not losing those minions as you try and rotate between the waves.
Yeah, just look at the CS differences, right? You compare Nemesis to, let's say, Mickey. In this case, that's a 20 CS lead there for Nemesis. You can see he's level 6 too, while Mickey is only level 5, so there is no kill threat for this Akali.
And looks like Caedrel's trying to make things happen on the bottom side of the map. Does have the blast gun if he wants to jump in. Rekkles and Hylissang underneath their tower, but Mystiques and Jessica happy just to chip away at the turret plates for the time being.
I really like how Caedrel is playing here. Very deep vision to spot out if Broxah is on this side of the map. He is level 5 and pushing in this wave. They were considering a potential dive, but not going to make the call in the end.
It's super risky to dive on towards Ezreal, of course, who still has the flash. You can just jump so far away, and Hylissang has the zoomies for the heal, has the shield from the passive, the bop and block, I believe it's called, and it's pretty difficult, actually, to get any sort of purchase in that bottom lane.
I think Excel's play may just be to go on towards this red buff. You can see Caedrel still really hanging around. The push in means Mystiques can walk all the way up forward into that bot lane tri-brush, get a lot of pressure, and they're spotting Broxah. Broxah going to be starting up this red buff in just a second. You can see the full collapse. Even Expect towards this mid lane. They just want to go on Nemesis.
Nemesis doesn't have flash, remember. He burned it in that top lane. There's a kill in the bottom lane as Hylissang falls. Mickey forced out here. Caedrel's going to jump in. EQ flash, Expect tanking up the tower, knocked back with a heroic charge, and Nemesis has nowhere to go. 3 kills to XL, 0 for Fnatic.
It was such a clutch gank there in the mid lane. They baited me. I thought they were going on towards Broxah, but they used the vision to know where he was so they could get that clean dive in the mid. Now Broxah, only level 5, is spotted on the ward and can't go for the play.
And it was only yesterday we saw Fnatic taking the early game to G2, one of our best early game teams in the league. Here, XL are teaching them just exactly how well an early game can be played.
Oh no, Rekkles is out of range for Hylissang to jump back into, and you see one binding lands. This is what I said in draft. One binding lands, and you instantly pop that Yuumi.
Great stuff here so far from XL. They're about 700 gold in the lead. It's nothing monumental, but you have to remember there's double Klepto on the side of Fnatic, so that's going to be making up some of that deficit. The CS differences between the lanes have extended just a little bit. Nemesis, about 20 farm ahead. Bwipo as well, about 10 to 15 on average, depends where the waves are pushed. Yeah,
the biggest difference right now going to be in the top lane, with Expect picking up the first blood and that assist towards mid, and also the two supports here. Mystique's doing a better job of stacking his spell thieves in the bottom lane. That's a little bit easier there on the Lux, who has the heightened range to land those poke spells, especially when pushing underneath the tower. And the gold on a support Lux is actually very important, because once you start building up, you go for maybe the Ardent Sensor a little bit to get that run-in for Jessica, get the bonus damage, maybe in the Thean's Unholy Grail too, but then after that, I see a lot of Lux's build AP towards the mid to late game.
Can definitely work out pretty well for you. He's got the mobility boots already, so we'll expect to see him moving into some of the other lanes, maybe even looking for a few ganks towards that mid lane. Nemesis's flash is back up, so he has a little bit more security, a little bit more safety in that mid lane, but for the moment, Mystique's actually flashing forwards. Wow, it was very aggressive. Expect with the heroic charge. Bwipo's going to pop the World Ender, just wants to try and get away. Trading still onto Expect. The hammer shot comes down, but Bwipo with the healing is doing a lot of work on this Poppy. Expect still has the flash if he wants to get away.
Yeah, Expect knows Broxah is moving up towards this top lane. Very low here without the shield. Still has the flash, but if Broxah gets around him, that kick is going to deal a lot of damage and take him out of the safety of his tower.
Steadfast presence makes it so difficult for Broxah to actually get near him, though. You can just pin him back so well. XL have done an incredible job in this bottom lane. We're 10 minutes in, and they're looking for the 5th plate.
Yeah, they're absolutely smashing. And yes, it's a good matchup, but this is what I wanted to see. XL made a roster change. They brought in Jessica and Mystiques, the two younger players on this team, making full use of that 10-man roster, and they're smashing Rekkles and Hylissang.
You can see Nemesis was thinking about going down here with the package. He started to path towards the bottom lane, but he just can't get there in time. Mountain Drake, first tower of the game, 2,000 gold lead. XL are 2,000 gold ahead over Fnatic at the 10-minute mark.
It's a huge surprise here, because the context is Fnatic are 5-0. XL are 0-5, and Fnatic just demolished G2 yesterday. It's a huge change in tempo here now, as XL have full control over the game. They're playing so well from top to bottom. I really like what I'm seeing here.
And in picks and bans, we said Fnatic would be looking for those 2-item spikes, looking for those power points on their team. Well, if you're getting there behind the enemy team, it's such a struggle. There's already a completed Essence Reaver on Jeskla. He's in such a strong spot. And now Mystiques is looking for that gang towards mid. The package was burnt by Nemesis, but he does still have the Valkyrie.
Yeah, he gets out no problem, but Excel still so much control now, moving up towards the top side. Bwipo coming down as well. He might get caught in rotation as Caedrel is here as well.
Bit of a pincer movement here from Fnatic as Broxah comes in from the side, looking for the jump forward.
The casual 1v2 with Bwipo.
Bwipo just doing what he can. Broxah misses the Sonic Wave and can't quite find his connection. Excel able to survive some of that pressure, and meanwhile Jessica's just been up towards this top side, getting another plate on the tower. Bwipo coming in, trying to trade there, uses the Darkin Blade. Spell should use to block the second knockup. There's the Prismatic Barrier. Mystiques pushing forward. Bwipo pops the World Ender, but he's forced back. Caedrel's on this side of the map, and there is the final spot for Bwipo. Just in time with the flash, jumps back in, the Ignite coming out.
Bwipo going for the 1v2, so much damage. Teleport comes through, Mystiques in trouble.
He almost takes out Mystiques, but the light binding's there in time. Double TP coming in from Fnatic, the flank with Rekkles and Hylissang. The True Shot Barrage will not connect. And now Nemesis, Broxah, and Rekkles are trying to make this team turn it around. Expect with the Hammer Shot, knocks back two. It's a Rekkles and Hylissang duo knocked away from the fight.
Excel get the kill and get out. Even with the teleports coming on in, they continue to best Fnatic. Their health bars are low though, so Broxah will take the best of this trade and pick up a Herald.
Got to get what you can out of it, but that was so well played by Excel. Bwipo almost turned this fight around.
Yeah, Bwipo going in here, I thought he was completely out of his mind. It's a 1v2, 1v3 situation with Caedrel roaming up as well. But then we got another fight, they teleport back in, they want more.
Expects trying to catch up Hylissang, but Hylissang will get the you and me. Mickey down towards the bottom side, jumps straight out to Broxah and deletes him. Broxah doesn't get a chance to play League. Nemesis and Mickey are fighting down towards the bottom side as Rekkles falls up towards the top. Mickey on the blast cone, managing to get away, but Nemesis with the chase. One more order will spell Fnatic's first kill of the game. Bwipo's going to pull back, expect, but now there are 4 members of Excel round.
Excel want to fight, they get the stun against the wall, that chain CC, the deletion.
That is disgusting from Excel. 7-1. This was the scoreline yesterday against G2, but that was Fnatic's favor.
Oh, they were more!
Make it 8! Just deliver it to him!
They will not hesitate. Excel have 8 kills in the first 12 minutes against Fnatic of all people, and they continue to force and push against this Fnatic squad. It's a beautiful early game.
Where was this Excel for the first 5 games of the split? This
Where
is
were they against Vitality yesterday?
This is incredible stuff from Excel, and maybe Fnatic a little bit shell-shocked. They had such a strong performance yesterday. Today they have not come out of the gate swinging, and we'll have to see how they fight from behind.
And now we just have to judge Excel with a gold lead. How effectively can they snowball this? Can they close it out? We see this fight one more time. Broxah had started the Herald, but Mickey wanted nothing to do with that. You see he follows the entire charge there with the E to get the instant kill. Then 3 versus 2 here. Rekkles falls, Hylissang ends up getting picked off towards the end of this fight. We'll shift down bottom lane too.
Oh, nice slow-mo on that as well.
Yeah, it's smooth, but Mickey really know where he could go after he takes that kill, so it's a 1-for-1 trade in the end. And Bwipo gets a little antsy here. No flash on him, so it's a very nice wall pin on towards Expect. And as you can see in the picture-in-picture, that's a free Herald for Excel.
Yeah, and at the end, Hylissang backing on a ward. Bwipo and Fnatic have seemed all at odds and ends this game. You can see a little bit of a shake of the head there. Mickey trying to get away from Nemesis, but the chase is on. Prowling projectile used. Phosphorus bomb does not connect. Remember, that does give vision. Mickey hit with a Sonic Wave, but Broxah is not going to follow that one up. Rift Herald still actually being used in the top lane here by Excel for their second tower of the game. 4.5k ahead.
Used it 5 seconds before turret plating fell as well, so they get the full value out of that, putting more and more gold onto Jeskla. Look at that, 7.3 thousand gold on him to the 4.9k on Rekkles. That is a monumental difference.
He's almost doubled his goal. We're actually nowhere near that, but 1.5 times. I did the maths very quickly in my head.
Good recovery.
Yeah, but the great thing for Excel is you're now starting to get these first completed items on your team as well. You can see Essence Reaver there. You're building up towards an Infinity Edge on the Sivir. Hextech Gunblade completed on Akali. Sunfire Ninja Tabi on towards Expect in the top lane as well. He's basically unkillable at the moment.
Excel are in a beautiful position, especially with this Infernal Drake spawning as well. Rekkles stuck topside without a teleport, so it could only be a steal here for Broxah.
You can cheer their name all you want, fans, but Fnatic need a miracle right now to get back in this game. Maybe a steal on the Infernal will spell the start of it. Bwipo trying to catch up Mickey down towards the bottom side, but already the Infernal Dragon is down. Mickey doing the damage. Bwipo has to pop the ult. Flash in the blast tower, not quite enough.
Ignite?
The Ignite is ticking, and Bwipo goes boom! 9-1 Excel. This is a demolition.
Excel get everything. Another dragon, another kill. This team is popping off, and there's nothing Fnatic can do. Nemesis can try his best, with the Yuumi on the back, and the Excel fans are in the house.
Finding their voice perhaps for the first time in the split. Excel look indomitable this game. Now they're going to look for this mid lane tower, already taken top and bot. 15 minutes in, they are in total control, but the next steps can sometimes be the hardest. Getting that early lead, getting the snowball on is easy, but keeping it rolling in the direction you want can be hard.
Exactly, especially with 4 more minutes before the Baron buff spawns. This is usually a time of game where the game stalls out a little bit. Excel have one objective on the map they can look to take, and that is the mid lane outer turret. What they need to do is use their solo lane pressure to build that up in the side lanes and find a collapse, then have Mickey pop off like he did right here. You can see the mobility. This is what I was talking about earlier. The mobility makes it impossible for Bwipo to trade back against him. The Ignite, tick, tick, boom.
Once again, Bwipo goes down. I just want to give some credit to Mickey this game as well. He has played out of his mind compared to how we've seen him in the rest of the split. Really stepping up. He's already got 3 kills this game. That equals as many kills as he's got in any other game so far.
It's absolutely massive, and the question coming into this game was, can we get a better read on where the newer players, Mystiques, Jeskla, and Mickey fit in to the LEC ecosystem, right? Because we've seen Jeskla and Mystiques on an underwhelming Sonatark. Mickey in his 3 games really had not impressed, but so far they've been doing fantastically up against one of our best teams in the league.
And Bwipo just has to run away from Expect. Not much you can do against that much armor this early on in the game. Excel with the push prio in mid lane. True Shot Barrage used by Fnatic to try and clear out the wave, but Jeskla and Mystiques can just step up. And one of the weaknesses of Ezreal is after you lose that ult, you don't have a huge amount of wave clear.
Excel doing a good job of using pressure inside this jungle, try and zone members of Fnatic away from this tower, buying space for their players like Jeskla and Mystiques to walk forward and hit the towers. You see bottom lane too, in that picture down the bottom left corner of your screen. Expect smashing in that matchup, pushing on forward very easily, threatening, taking down this turret in all honesty, unless Nemesis moves down to cut him off.
That's what he's trying to do. He's on his way, but he walks over control ward down towards that bottom lane. You can see immediately Expect backs away. Jeskla and Mystique step forward in the mid lane. Tank up some damage, but that prismatic barrier does a lot of work. It's Athene's first on Mystiques. We'll see where he goes next in terms of itemization, because right now, even something like an Ardent Sensor would do a lot of work.
It definitely would. That'll probably be the next choice here for Mystiques, especially with Jeskla finishing off his Infinity Edge very soon. We'll just multiply the damage coming through as Mickey goes back.
Looking for the stun. Perfect execution comes out. There's a teleport in as well. Counter TP used, but Expect already putting up the steadfast presence. Looking for the hammer shot. Knocks back Bwipo. Meanwhile, the mid lane towers, and the tower falls, and Excel get what they want.
Excel traded flash and a teleport for that tower just 2 minutes before the Baron spawns. That is what they needed to open up the map. You see, with so many members of Fnatic committed up top lane, Jeskla walks on in, picks himself up a very easy red buff, and continues to get further and further ahead. He can clear this wave base and pick himself up that Infinity Edge too for that extra cherry on top.
And you can see here, the chase was on. You think with the slows, with the chase potential, maybe you can get it, but Mickey does a great job of surviving.
Yeah, early flash there from Nemesis to make Caedrel effectively waste his, but ultimately Expect with that ulti to knock the Aatrox out of the fight. Means very easy disengage for them, while the duo was getting a lot done on the other side of the map.
Oh. So, 19 minutes in, Ender. Let's have a look at our pre-game expectations. I thought the game would almost be over, and I thought it would be in Fnatic's favor. Excel have turned that one right around. They've written a new page in their book so far today. The question is how they can then take this into the rest of the game. Expect caught out a little bit here, but the teleport coming in. He's still alive somehow. The heal, the shields. Mystique's coming in. Mickey's on the back onto Broxah, but Mystique's so low already, managing to survive. Rekkles coming in. The final spark won't connect, but Nemesis does fall. Broxah's going to go down as well, and Hylissang. The cat goes flat. It's a double for Jesper.
Fnatic going in, but they go way too far, and Excel punish them one more time. 2 kills down for the 3. It's a trade up on the side of Excel. And with that dragon spawning in just under a minute, it's going to be more objectives that Excel can continue to collect.
And you've almost got 3 items finished on your Sivir as well. We had a bunch of summoners burnt there though. Jeskla, no flash. Mickey had to burn his Ignite. There's no flash on Mystique's either. On the other side, Rekkles still has his, Bwipo has his, but you don't have it on Broxah. That's your big playmaker, the guy that can catch out the Sivir and kick him back into the team.
Well, now here's the thing. We have to look at Fnatic's comp holistically and say, how do they actually come back? What does their ideal team fight look like? And honestly, they don't have the greatest tools. I think they're really going to be relying on Nemesis to have a lead and to go into a side lane and use that Corki global pressure sometimes with the package to make these rotations, because otherwise, starting a team fight is almost impossible. The only real hard CC you have is going to be this Lee Sin, and that's just not enough to find reliable engagements.
Caedrel putting out a lot of DPS onto Hylissang there. Of course, the Yuumi very squishy, and the Jarvan only a tank build here. But the question is, how strong is XL right now? How hard can they force a fight? You've got double Infernal Mountain sitting on your Sivir. Now you've got the rapid fire cannon there as well. Do you just keep Mickey in a side lane, or do you say Baron's up? The Nashor's there, we can go for this fight. Hylissang knocks himself over the wall to pick up the honey fruit, but if someone had been lying in wait there, that would have been a little bit dangerous.
Maybe just a little bit. Get caught out wouldn't be a great look with the Baron spawning right about now. Mickey walking through the jungle. Fnatic are trying to set up a trap. They've got 5 members coming over, but it's really hard to lock down the Akali.
Broxah lands the Sonic Wave, but the kick is in the wrong direction. Don't want to learn new mechanics from him today. Mickey's still able to escape, gonna get pulled back in. Ooh, not quite in time. Manages to escape, and once again, Fnatic tried to set a trap, but XL were ready and waiting.
Yeah, they tried to find it, but as I'm saying, the Lee Sin kick is not that reliable. He wasn't able to find the ward off. The flash was down, of course, so didn't have that option available, but now XL with the Mountain Drake, with the attack speed coming through from the Jarvan flag. They're starting this up, and Broxah must go in.
Let's keep it like this. Let's only see the XL vision, because Fnatic have to make the play. Broxah looking for the Sonic Wave, but the turn comes out.
Knocked out.
Shock knocks him back. Here comes the final trap of Bwipo, locking in with the Dark in play. The kills are going to rain down. How many of XL can get away? Bwipo in the middle of it all gets expect. Caedrel jumps forward as well. Mickey and Mystiques will escape with the Baron, but Fnatic find 3.
3 huge kills there for Fnatic. They lose the Baron, but they're able to take it off key members. XL must go back and regroup, because that was almost a chance there for Fnatic to wipe them.
The only benefit for XL is that Mickey still has it, and he is so strong, but you can see Broxah in the right position gets in, then gets knocked out.
I like to see this, though, from XL. They make the decision very early on, turn for the Baron, do not fight. They knew they were taken down low, and honestly, maybe they can challenge in this fight if Mickey and Mystiques commit, but the call, they were all on the same page to disengage and maintain the Baron buff on as many members as they could.
Fnatic still trying to take that mid lane tower. In the top lane, Nemesis and Hylissang are pushing in. You can hear the crowd trying to cheer on the undefeated XL. We did wonder how easy it would be for them to convert a snowball lead into a win. We can see how easy it is to make mistakes from that last play. Now they need to regroup, reset, and think about their next steps.
XL, they have 2 minutes and 20 seconds with this Baron buff. As you can see, they're already minus 2,000 gold, so they need to get some work done. They need some of these towers. I want to see them split up 4-1 at the moment, but I want it to be Mickey in the side lane. He still has a Baron buff. The other Baron on Mystiques can be with the rest of the team. If they group up as 4 mid lane, they can use the Poppy to disengage if there is a fight, which makes up for the weakness of this lack of teleport, as Carlos has some important words for the Fnatic fans out there.
Yeah, how did you break them? With your face? Kind of just face rolled into them yesterday. So
they killed Cap so many times that they just didn't have anything left.
The emotional burden of killing your former teammate was the issue there for Fnatic. XL trying to break the base of Fnatic right now. It is the 4-1. Split Mickey down towards that bottom lane. It's what you wanted. And now the rest of XL rotate round. They're just looking for these towers.
This is perfect. As the wave collapses, XL can send members down. They don't even have to put them into that lane. They just have to make sure they can be here if Fnatic were to try to find a fight. Now that the tower goes down, the mid lane minion wave is here, and they can look for something.
XL on the hunt. Whoa! Knocked into the wall. Will need to flash away, but caught in the Cataclysm. Broxah trying to get onto the back line as XL start the fight. Broxah caught out. That's 1. They're looking for more.
XL trying for more, but they're getting zoned out. Mickey tries to get the damage down, but must go back. Expect still in the front line.
They're looking for the reset. Just back away here. Fnatic able to hold on, but it is a 1-for-0 trade in favor of XL.
XL with the Baron for 55 more seconds. It's 5 versus 4 for the next 20. They have this power play. They should be looking for the tower on this push.
Here we go, Jessica standing on the front line, has that rapid fire cannon for the long range autos. The inhibitor tower down to about 3/4 health, now half, now less. Looking forward as XL step forward, expect on the front line, but he might be caught out. He's so low already, able to survive. The root lands onto Nemesis. Nemesis stepping forward with the Valkyrie.
Nemesis wants to go in, they have the chain slows, he flashes on in. The damage is not enough on towards Mickey, who wants more.
XL just able to escape, the final spark lands. Nemesis caught in the binding and Bwipo not here in time. They're looking for the speed up. Mystiques might be sacrificed, he will fall. Fnatic hold on to their base, they hold on to their turrets, and they just about hold on to this game.
They stall out the rest of the Baron. That is the important thing for Fnatic. They get a little turret on top as well, but their base still stands strong. They live to fight another day.
Just about. Expect almost fell. Mickey almost fell. We'll have another look at that fight because it was all XL at the start. The flash in to catch Bwipo.
Yeah, XL wants to go in because both Yuumi and Corki were down bottom lane. They think they can catch out Bwipo right off the bat. Then Broxah stops the autos coming through from Jessica. Even though he falls, Bwipo does remain up. And then this front line gets chunked down. Expect is still all right at the moment, but when this wave comes forward, they overstay for the tower. Expect takes so much damage trying to buy space for them to knock down this tower that the Yuumi sees so many low HP bars. They see that XL must run backwards, and that is where Yuumi absolutely excels.
Definitely is. You can see Expect here getting chunked out quite a lot, but the chase potential from that Yuumi, from Bwipo as well, with the Umbral dash, from Rekkles with the arcane shifts forward. Nemesis doing so much damage from range, and look at how close that was. Almost took down a couple of members of XL. Mystiques decided to sacrifice himself really here, stepping back forward. The final prowling projectile hits, he's slowed, and he knows he's not getting away.
Yeah, I don't know if it was as much of sacrificing himself for the team as much as it was, I want to turn and kill Nemesis.
Let's give him a little bit of credit here. He both wanted the kill, but also knew if he missed the kill, he's going down, he's going to fall. XL now pushing in towards this top lane, about 4,000 gold ahead at the 27-minute mark, but Fnatic are fighting back.
And now notice it is Expect in the side lane. He has the teleport up without the Baron, but whoa, they're going in!
Broxah comes in and catches That is the Lee Sin God that you want to see if you're a Fnatic fan, and now Fnatic can push forward, looking for the chase on Mystiques. Mystiques has no escape. Bwipo's going to lock him out. That's another. Fnatic get 2 quick kills and are fighting their way back.
Absolutely unreal fight there from Broxah. Fnatic proved me wrong so many times where they go into these fights without the tools to get the big engagements, but it's Broxah with this Lee Sin who finds his mark onto Jeskla and makes him pay.
Fnatic is starting to get those items in as well. 3 completed on Rekkles. Gone Blade of the Ruin King on this Ezreal instead of the Hextech Gunblade or the Ludens. Almost got a 3rd item on Nemesis. That will be the Infinity Edge. When you get that on Corki, your damage skyrockets. And the question is it enough for Fnatic? Because XL are still in the driver's seat.
Oh, look at that. The flash, or the kick flash right there from Broxah. Not even using the ward to get that jump behind. Jessica just didn't stand a chance right there.
You can see how much awareness there is in some of these fights. The ping's out, knowing exactly where Mystiques is. Now Mickey caught out. We highlighted him earlier on, said he was having a very good game, but we haven't seen so much of him since. Only picked up a single kill in the last 15 minutes or so. Would like to see that Akali getting onto the backline, chunking out the Ezreal, but it's very hard to do.
We come into this second Baron of the game in a very different state. No longer is it Excel with complete control over the map. Yes, they have 2 Infernals. Yes, they have a 2,000 gold lead, but it's Fnatic now pushing up, getting control over this river. Can Excel maybe use some of their deep wards as a teleport flank to start off a team fight? Because if they're able to find that reach from behind on towards Fnatic, they could single out some of these carries.
Importantly, we have just seen the Bloodthirster finished on Jeskla. Medjai stacking up for Hylissang. He's at 11. We want to get that one as high as possible. Redemption was the next item here for Mystiques, going for a more supportive Lux build. XL trying to get the vision control around here. They're going with the on the hunt. Caedrel can't quite find the knock-up. The final chapter comes out, but here's the teleport behind them. And XL are looking for the fight.
Stunned him!
Locks them in. The stun lock. Nemesis is down. One shot down as Bwipo comes in for the bottom side of the fight.
Jessica chasing down Broxah, gets the boomerang blade and gets the kill. Now Bwipo in a 1v4. He is way out of his depth.
Rekkles might try and come and help him. Hylissang's there as well, but Bwipo has to flash. Rekkles trying to do what he can with the Iceborne, the slow. Ticking down on Bwipo. He gets taken out, and Mickey's still on the chase. Rekkles trying to get away. Has the flash if he can escape. Needs to to keep Hylissang with him, Expect jumping forward, but XL are on the offensive.
XL smash the team fight, and they have the minions here. Rekkles uses the ult to clear out the minions, but there's another wave. Expect is here to tank the tower, and XL want the inhibitor.
Is this just it though, Ender? They can take the inhibitor. You've still got 20 seconds on the rest of the timers. Looks like XL say no for now.
With just 10 seconds on Broxah, they must back away. But remember, the poke and the double slows from the Iceport and the Yuumi here are taking Mickey solo.
Solo Rekkles jumps in! He heals! He shields! He gets himself out! The QSS just in time, and the chase starts once again.
There's a teleport coming in from Nemesis on the top side of the map as well. They're trying to find the collapse here. Again, the slows, as long as Rekkles has mana, they will be able to slow them down. But with Caedrel here, it's going to be hard.
There's no package here on Nemesis. He might have just jumped into his demise. Just jumped out! Crit, crit, boom goes the AD carry. And now Rekkles
Look at him
on
go!
the offensive, stepping forward. Yuumi needs to get to him. The true shot barrage sweeps them off the map. XL lose 2, and Fnatic are fighting back.
Are you kidding me? Fnatic out of nowhere. It is Rekkles jumping forward, flashing in. He does not care. He will show no mercy to XL as Fnatic turn to the Baron.
Fnatic go for the Baron. Caedrel not going to be there in time. Second Baron of the game will go to Fnatic. However, XL trying to get an Infernal in exchange. Caedrel doesn't have that much damage. Expect is there with him, but Fnatic are trying to react.
Oh, how the tides have turned here. The XL chants are silent as they are stuck in this pit, and the rest of Fnatic is here for blood.
They get the Infernal. That is impactful. Triple Imp is great, but the final chapter will lock up Caedrel, and maybe that's the final chapter in this story from XL.
Is this just the game now? Fnatic take the Baron, they get 2 kills, and they have the minions in towards this mid lane. I think they're just going to rush straight for the Nexus here. XL do not have that much time.
The team with the strongest early game in the league, Fnatic were penned back. They were hampered, they were hemmed in, but somehow they have fought back this game. Gold pretty much even. Fnatic take a slight lead. XL 3 versus 5, trying to defend their base. Jessica caught out, the redemption's not enough. Crit from Nemesis takes him to the fountain, and now Mystiques and Mickeys have to run away. This will be the inhibitor at least.
This is where Fnatic look for the kill. The inhibitor goes down. They have the minions. Jeskla, the carry from XL is down. It is just up to Mickey and Mystiques. The other 2 members are respawning, but the towers are falling.
Fnatic clinged onto life in this game, and Mickey's trying to cling onto life for XL. He manages to escape. The rest of XL are back up. Bwipo stepping forward for the fight. The Nexus towers have to be the target. Bwipo with a double knock-up. Mystiques low. Expect trying to do what he can, but the Nexus towers are down. And Fnatic can just go for the Nexus.
Caedrel goes in. He can't find it, though. Fnatic are on a rampage. Bwipo goes for Mystiques. He gets the kill. Mickey falls. Fnatic get the win.
Fnatic bend, but they do not break. They're still undefeated.
Fnatic had no business winning that game, but it comes down to the play of Hylissang and Rekkles to stall out and turn these late game fights, and the clutch kick, Broxah finding Jeskla in the top lane that turned everything on its head.
What a performance from behind. They were on the mat. They'd been knocked out in rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But when it came to the crunch, when it came to the final fight, Fnatic showed their dominance once again. On the other side of the rift, though, of course, XL. Probably a little bit disheartened after losing that game, but they should take so much spirit out of their early game performance. It was impeccable.
Look, let's not beat around the bush. XL will be hugely disappointed in this game. It was their game to win, but the fact that they battled, and not just that, they smashed Fnatic, our best early game team here in the LEC. They absolutely brutalized them in the early stages of the game. It was so clean from them for so long. It was just the mid to late that everything started to crumble.
Yeah, just those mid to late decisions that fell by the wayside, but another team does exactly that against Fnatic. 7-0 now, undefeated through the first 3 weeks. Oh, sorry, 6-0. 3 weeks is 6 games. 6-0.
That's some quick math.
3 weeks of the split, and going into Rift Rivals, probably the best team in Europe. Yes, they've only beaten G2 in a best of 1, but Rift Rivals starts off with best of 1.
Look, I'll be honest, after seeing this early game, I'm a little hesitant to be all aboard the Fnatic train. Obviously, they smashed G2 yesterday.
Yep.
Let's not, get around that. But Fnatic showing they can come back from behind. That was one of the questions I had, was without an early game lead, can they do it? And the answer is a resounding yes.
Oh, you know what I want to see, Ender? I want to see some highlights of that turnaround because there were so many. Of course, Broxah's kick being one of the key impactful moments of the game. And let's have another look at it from his point of view.
He actually landed the Q onto Mystiques. I didn't even notice that the first time. So the support of Excel betraying his AD carry by getting hit by that skill shot. And then you see a little sneak peek of what the rest of the game looked like, because Fnatic used this Ezreal and Yuumi just jumping on top of each other to find these closes, and the ridiculous damage, they instantly killed Jeskla.
It's the power of that Infinity Edge. We brought it up in the cast as soon as Nemesis had it, able to hit so many shots, and seeing Rekkles jumping forward on Ezreal is a sight for sore eyes. It feels like it's been an age since he was the aggressive AD carry, and we saw it to fruition that game.
Yeah, he was going in. He was not slowing down. Once he saw that opening, he's like, yeah, I'm just going to keep going, and I will not stop. And ultimately, those two plays where Excel go for the inhibitor, and then Rekkles and Hylissang turn around, are ultimately what got them the win.
It definitely was. Key player of the game vote is at Esports on Twitter. You can go Bwipo, Broxah, or Rekkles. I think we all know who we're going for. It's the guy that made a training gowns video. It's the guy that excels on Lee Sin. It's the guy who played Ezreal that game. It's Rekkles, right?
Bwipo just smiled at me, though.
Oh,
so.
Bwipo smiled at you.
Hey.
Okay, maybe we did.
Are you MVP? Do you think so? No. Okay, Bwipo says he's not the MVP. Do not vote Bwipo.
Yeah, you can't vote Bwipo, but we are going to hear from him now. Law, take it away.
Thanks, Medic. And thanks, Bwipo, for joining me.
Hi.
That could have been awkward. How do you go from smashing G2
It still is
yesterday?
awkward, I think.
Tell me about it. What happened?
Live and die by the early game, I guess.
Yeah?
I feel like, honestly, in our draft, we had a lot of stuff that we liked, but in the end, I don't feel like we had any lanes we could play on. And I think that's something we noticed as we were playing, and we're like, wait, we can't really gank the Corki lane, we can't really make a play on the Aatrox lane here, and we can't actually make a play on the Ezreal Yuumi lane either. So we felt like we were getting pressured everywhere, and we didn't really find a way to answer that pressure.
So nothing to do with the fact that you beat the team behind you yesterday?
No, I just think that, I don't think we had much cohesion going on in our draft, but it was just more like, oh, all these champions are like, they're safe, we like picking them, we should be fine, and then we actually realized during the game that, it didn't work out.
You won in the end. You're gonna have a big challenge ahead next week heading to LA for Rift Rivals. As we know, America is the land of the free, so which of these NA team is gonna be the most free on the Rift?
That's a good question. I mean, they're all pretty free. But if I had to put my word on it, I think I have some history with Licorice, so let's see what we can make out of that.
Any player you're looking forward to face outside of Licorice?
Can you repeat that?
Any player you're looking forward to face outside of Licorice?
You know what? Oh yeah, I was thinking who the top laners were. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to get down and dirty with whoever wants to fight me. So whoever trades in lane is welcome.
You've watched LCS, I guess. So jokes aside, what do you think you can learn from the NA teams?
No, I mean, that's a good question. I just needed a moment to think. I'm sure there are things.
That's not DM at all.
No. I mean, I'm sure there are things. It's just a question that's a bit in-depth, and I'm not sure if I can find something I can learn from them immediately. Yeah, I think they're good at playing as a 5-man unit, so I think they have a thing for being as 5 people in one lane. So I think sometimes that's a good thing.
That could be a good thing indeed, especially when team fight is so strong right now. Thank you, Bwipo, for joining me, and I wish you good luck on your trip to America next week.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a break, and coming back, G2 Esports will take on Rogue. Don't go anywhere, guys.
What?